Hey, VC, Dan here. Welcome back to Vinyl Fury. Once again, it's been a while. I think technically this has probably been the longest amount of time between videos. A lot's happened. I haven't got a lot of music on vinyl in the meantime, but enough that I actually have lost track of what is the new stuff that I haven't shown in videos before. I was keeping a list, but I lost track of that. So I'm just going to do my best to remember what it is that I haven't shown and what I've gotten since then. As you can see, this is a different space. I'm in the same house, but I moved rooms, which has been great. It's a bit bigger. I definitely have a lot more space for my records. And there's the main shelf back there, and there's a couple new shelves as well. And I'll do a room tour once I get everything finalized. But as you can see, this wood, it's actually a hardwood cutting board, and I've got some things called vibropods underneath that to help isolate the turntable a bit more. I have hardwood floors, and it's a bit of an older house, and the footfall was pretty heavy. So I'm experimenting with isolation, and that is helping. I think I just need to get actually a lower shelf as well. But I'll get into that later, if you're wondering what that was. The band is still going, still having fun with that. We just recorded a couple of new songs that are off to be mixed and mastered. And so those should come out, I'd say probably by the end of September. We'll see. MadamOfficer.com. Keep an eye on that. Still doing the podcasts. Those are still really fun to do, and we've done some really interesting subjects. And if you haven't heard me talk about that before, I've mentioned it in the past several videos, and you can check out thefundamentalspod.com to hear that one, which is the main one that I do. So yeah, I know this stack of records I haven't talked about before. At least I'm pretty sure. And these are all from Music on Vinyl, which is a label that I didn't really collect, and for a while I actually kind of avoided. When they first started putting out records, I think the sound quality varied according to people who would talk about them. Sometimes they were good, sometimes not so much, sometimes, it was really hit or miss. The quality of sources was disputed and whatnot, but they've been around several years, and they really seem to have stepped it up in the last couple of years especially. They've been putting out a lot of great reissues, records that haven't been available for some time or have never been available on vinyl, which is great, and I've gotten a bunch that I'm actually really happy with. And I will show those today. So first off, there's a couple of albums from Stone Temple Pilots, which original pressings of their albums are quite hard to get. I was actually in Seattle recently, and they had a copy of Tiny Music, the one after this, on the wall for $100. These, I've been getting them from deepdiscount.com, and they actually are much cheaper than I've seen them anywhere else. Between $5 and $10 cheaper, which is great. So this is Purple. That's what it's known as. Their second album. This is number 4. Obviously their fourth album. And this is a die cut cover. It's a white sleeve inside that slips out. And all of these have colored variants for the first 1,000 or 2,000, depending on the title. These are both black, but they sound great. This had never been on vinyl before. I also got Tiny Music, but it was warped, and I returned it, and I just need to order it again. And I was so happy with these. The version of Core that I've had, that I got on Record Store Day a couple years ago, I actually sold that, and I'm going to order the Music on Vinyl version. I think it's going to sound better. And as far as I know, they've all been made from high resolution copies of tapes, and the results are pretty good. I think the vinyl that they use is really high quality as well. I got a few reissues of albums from the early aughts. Some of my favorite bands, some of my favorite music of that time. This is Rival Schools, United by Fate, which is their debut album, 2001. And I do have another reissue of this that came out, I think it was last year, a double LP from Shop Radiocast. And it was pretty good, and it had several B-sides that were included on it. It was a cool color and all that stuff. Sound quality was not the best, and I was hoping for a bit better on this. And it is a bit better. It's still just by nature, I think, of that time, a bit compressed. It doesn't. The music doesn't breathe very well, but it is a little bit better. And it is a really sweet color. It's a translucent, kind of minty green, a bit of haze in there. And there's 1,000 on this color, and I think there's black copies available after that. So Rival Schools is post-hardcore music. The lead singer and guitarist is Walter Schriefels, who is from Gorilla Biscuits and Quicksand, and this is one of his many projects that I really enjoy. Next is from the same era. This is 2001 as well, 2002. Sparta, their debut album, Wiretap Scars. Love this record. A friend of mine had an original pressing, said it didn't sound all that great. And so when this was reissued, I was really happy about that. And I found this copy, which is on red vinyl. And I think there's 1,500 on red. It's a gatefold. And sounded great, actually. I really enjoyed listening to this in speakers and headphones. I thought it sounded really good. Love this record. Post-hardcore, melodic rock. Yeah, really, really great to have this on vinyl. It sounds awesome. And from 2002 as well, one of my favorite records ever by one of my favorite bands, Glassjaw. This is Worship and Tribute. This was also available, I think, on clear vinyl for the first 1,000 or so. This is on black. I also have a reissue of this, or actually it was reissued, or actually it was issued for the first time 3 or 4 years ago from Warner Brothers, and it wasn't a great pressing. It didn't sound very good at all. And the packaging, while they tried to replicate the original CD packaging that has a clear plastic overlay with the tone arm and stuff, and a PVC cover, as you might know, those often tend to leak. And so many people who have bought that record are pretty upset now because PVC is leaked onto the vinyl. I put mine in a inner sleeve knowing that was probably going to happen. But I was hoping this was going to sound better. And again, it's an improvement. It's not fantastic. But again, this is probably mixed and mastered fairly hot in level. Those days, I think that was kind of when the rise of pushing the limits of volume on records was really starting to happen more aggressively. So, I got this for about $22. So this is definitely a better listening copy. Really happy when this was finally reissued. It had been a long time since this has been out of print, and it's been called for a long time. This is Temple of the Dog, their one and only album. This had a purple colored pressing for the first run, and this is on black as an etched D side, which is a design similar to this. Really cool. Sounded great. I love this record. Members of Soundgarden and Pearl Jam on this. It's just a great sound of that time, the early 90s alternative rock. Really good issue of this on vinyl, and I think the members of the band have been trying to get the original masters back from the studio, which have been kind of holding them. I think there's some illegality to that, and they're trying to get those back. I think they want to put it out again on their own, maybe do a all analog pressing. That would be nice. And finally, I held off on this record for quite a while. When I first started collecting vinyl, I wanted it. And again, original pressings were hard to come by and expensive. And this was the only way to get it. And at the time, I didn't, I had my doubts about the quality of music on vinyl, so I held off for a long time. But I finally found it for a good enough price to take a chance on. And it sounds way better than I was expecting. Heavier Things, the second album from John Mayer. Some of my favorite songs are on here, like Clarity. I love that song. Not altogether my favorite record of his. But I do enjoy it, and it sounded much better than I thought it was going to. So I was really pleased by that. So it's nice to finally complete that collection. That's all I needed. Okay, so that's all I have for now. There's definitely more newer records that I purchased over the last few months. Some new stuff that I got on a recent trip to Seattle. And even some new stuff that I still haven't shown from before. So hopefully I can get around to that at some point. And maybe I have time right now to film another video real quick. And if I do, then I'll leave this in and you'll know that it's coming. Otherwise, good to be back. I don't know how frequent I'm going to be. Hopefully not several more months until the next time I upload. Time is hard to come by, it seems. To do this and even watch videos, I really don't get to watch as many videos as I used to, or as many as I'd like to. So I just wanted to take the opportunity while I had it to get back here and get involved again. It's great to see this community still thriving after, at least 5 years that I've been watching videos, and actually coming up on 4 years since I uploaded my first video, I think in just a couple weeks, which is crazy. But thanks for watching. I'll be back sometime. Until then, take care. Enjoy your music.